YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. So another day and another BMW leak. Probably coolant, but let's get under the bonnet and see what we can see, because it just dries a little bit, doesn't look so much like oil. Let's go for it. Right, so we've taken the air cleaner cover off, which is these two screws here. They're just a Torx, I think it's Torx 30. Lifted that off, can't see any obvious leaks, but just looking around, and it might be a bit hard for you to see, there's just a bit of fluid here underneath that hose that I've changed previously. So I've got a new radiator and a new hose changed previously, but there's just a little leak under there, so it's a bit disappointing. It might mean I need to get that hose off and have a look at that, but first of all I'm going to take the engine cover off underneath and see what's happening there. So I've got all the screws out, so that's these little M8s, and I'm just going to drop that cover down and I'll show you where all the fixings are. Right, so I just dropped down the two covers. So I dropped down this front cover, which was just on these two fixings, and also the main cover. So you can see the main cover is secured by these bolts around the outside. So these two here, this one here, this one here, I think there might be one, or there might be one there, and then one just on the side of the back. So they're pretty obvious when you're underneath. So you should be able to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 3 across the front. Get those off and I'll give that a wash, but you can see here the leak is clearly here, and we'll get under and have a look and see what we can see. So looking down under here, it might be a bit hard to see, but this is the only place that there is coolant. So just leaking around this drain cock, or drain of the radiator. The camera's just going to be a bit upside down now, and just around here on this suspension bush and also on that bracket. So it's really hard to see where that's coming from. It's definitely not coming from the front, it's definitely coming from the back, and you can just about see sometimes, and it's going to be really hard for you to see on the camera, but right up there amongst all the pipes you can just about see that front radiator pipe, and there's a bit of weeping on that, and then you can't quite see the other end. You can when the bonnet's open, and I can only imagine it's leaking off that, being as that is wet. So I think we'll get that pipe changed and see if we can fix the problem. Let's get this all cleaned up and back together and see how we go. So you would have seen in the videos just before this that I was looking into the leak, and I've decided that it's the hose that's leaking. So we're going to swap that out. So we've got a new hose here. If this doesn't work this time, I'm going to buy a genuine hose. This one was an aftermarket, and maybe there's just something up with the tolerancing, but I'm also going to make sure I lubricate these O-rings nicely and make sure that they're not leaking. I thought it was easier, rather than pulling it all apart and trying to fix up the old one, I'll just put a new tube on and see how we go. It's been about 2 years that tube's been on there. So let's get this airbox cover off, or air inlet off, and then we can work on getting the tube out. I'm going to try and do it without draining the water down from the radiator. Just going to drain a bit of water out as we undo the tube. Okay, let's get on with it. So I did pretty much catch all of the coolant just by putting it into those food containers, and this one came off pretty easily. This one also came off easily. Before I get this one off, I'm just going to be taking this hose off carefully, and with these metal clips I find it easier just to take them off completely. You are meant to just pull them up and they just lock in place, but if you take them off, then you know that they're not going to be catching on the retention rings whatsoever, which are down there, and that just makes your life a bit easier. So now taking the pipe off, I can really see where it has been leaking, or at least gunking up on this side of the seal. So that's on the outside of the O-ring. So something's a bit amiss. I'm hoping it's not the radiator that's out of spec, but we'll clean that up, get it all lubricated back together with the new hose, see how we go. So these cars do run pretty hot, and I guess that might be the reason for the problem. So this is the O-ring that's come out of the old one. You can see it's gone very flat, and it's probably been a little bit heated. This is the new O-ring out of the new hose. So all I really needed to do is buy a new O-ring, maybe better quality, and that might have solved the problem. But in the meantime, we'll put the new hose on because we do have it, and that will at least give us another couple of years where it hopefully won't be leaking. So the way we did notice this was leaking was because the coolant reservoir was getting a bit low, so obviously something was leaking somewhere. This will definitely help, because under pressure this now won't leak, so it'll hold the pressure better, and that will mean the engine will run a little bit cooler because the water will stay under pressure and won't boil as much. these do run about 105, 110 Celsius. Okay, let's get that all lubed up. So I'm going to get it lubed on the inside outside. I don't think that's going to fix the problem because this looks like a heat problem and that O-ring failing. Let's get that lubed up and start to get it back together. It's all back together now, so the clips have gone on nicely. One thing that is interesting is this one has just got a bit of an angle on it. You can just see it's just wedged out a bit on this side. Not too bad, I think it's going to be okay. So we'll just see how we go and how that new O-ring settles in. Certainly they were a lot tighter to put on, so we'll just see how it works out. And the last thing to do is just set these leads, clean out any air from the top of the engine. So that one's happy. I just set this one and I'll just top up the water a little bit and we'll be good to go.